As Cindy said, my name is Ryan Samuel, and I've been both very fortunate and very unfortunate to be involved in a variety of different business ventures. And I actually was thinking of like what a title would be for my talk, and the title is actually going to be No Magic. Because there's really no magic to this stuff. You start small, you work hard, mortgage company, and two friends of mine and I decided that we could start a mortgage company. So in 2004, myself and two friends got a license to sell mortgages and a little month-by-month office, and I will never forget that first day when it was the three of us in an office with a list of people, and we had to pick up the phone and start calling people to see if we could help them get a new mortgage. If that's an example of a low capital intensive business that you can start really quickly, and with hard work, it certainly was not always pretty, and we were making 200, 300, 400 phone calls a day. But by working at it, we grew the business into 5 offices around Maryland and Virginia, and it was a fantastic business. So we ran this business, built this business, but with a very conservative financial and capital structure. And in 2007, when the whole world collapsed, we had some capital available to us, which enabled me to do the restaurants and also slowly start acquiring multifamily properties. I had a chain of 4 quick service delis, and then I was actually approached by a mutual friend of mine and Cindy's to start a frozen yogurt chain called Frozenyo, which we started and grew to 10 local stores and another 10 franchises all over the world. But then the frozen yogurt business kind of collapsed, and we've now kind of had to refocus it and just have 3 stores locally here in DC. That you as a new entrepreneur, you as a vet with a history of service, there are many avenues available to you that will allow you to get a lease, get started with food vendors without necessarily having to sign and really risk everything that you've worked so hard for to date in your lives. So similar to the mortgage business and the frozen yogurt stores, I started in real estate just by buying one dilapidated little 5-unit apartment building. So we started buying some 4-unit buildings, some 5-unit buildings, and then it was 2009. The financial world had collapsed, so we decided to take a big bet and we bought a 40-unit building. And when we looked at it, it was a little rough. There was some graffiti, this, that, and the other. But price was really good, and we went hat in hand and raised money from anybody we could find, and we bought it. So day number 2, my phone just starts exploding. Apparently, the building is basically being run by MS-13. So what do? You call the police. Call the police, they did nothing. It's gonna be a lot more money, but we've got these jailhouse cameras. These things, no one can touch these cameras. So we spent a lot more money. We put these like jailhouse style cameras all over the place, the ones with the cages. But what I didn't realize is that in jail, no one has black spray paint. So, and we had a remote computer downloading all the footage, so we get all the footage. And you know what footage I got? I got footage of people with masks spray painting all the cameras. So that didn't work either. And I mean, it's funny now, but when it was happening, and this was like our biggest investment ever. This was like a fiasco. So what in the world are we gonna do? So we actually ended up hiring a private investigator because they were doing drug deals in the back parking lot of our building. We actually hired a private investigator. He spent the night on the roof of our building with a handheld camcorder, taking videos of what turned out to be large drug deals going on in the back parking lot. And I sent these videos to everybody, their mothers, their fathers, their cousins, everybody, and nothing happened. And 5 days later, the building was raided, and they were all out. And that building has just been fantastic. You know, when I talk to people about who are thinking about starting a business, they're always so all about a business plan. And you definitely want to have a business plan, but keep it simple. And don't be afraid to be flexible. When we first started looking, and DC had just significantly raised the amount that they were willing to pay for subsidized housing. So we made a pivot from market rate housing and started filling up existing units that we had, and also buying more units that we're now filling up with Section 8 with subsidized housing, Section 8 housing voucher tenants. And we decided the first time we did one, we bought it, we renovated it. I was talking to the guy who does my appliances, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a new subsidized, thing. He goes, oh, we'll just do these cheap white appliances. I said, well, what's the price difference to go from the white appliances to the stainless steel appliances? He's like, oh, it's like $750. I said, let's just put stainless steel appliances in this place. They just look and feel so much better. And I called my counter guy. I said, look, this is a small counter. You got any scraps? Because my counter guy does, all different kinds of projects, but he does these huge mansions with these huge granite counters. And a lot of times I've gotten scraps from him. He's like, oh yeah, I'll put a counter in there, $400. It's really nice stone. I just put in some rich person's house out in Potomac. I said, great, sounds great. And when the people who place the voucher holders in the apartment, they came in, it was like they had the kitchen was beautiful, and they were just overwhelmed. So for a marginal $1,000, where I'm getting a really great rent for this apartment, the person who was going to live in the apartment was thrilled, and the people. And I would like to tell you that I had the vision. Oh, well, I'm gonna wow the person that does the placements for these people, but I didn't have that vision. But the person who placed that voucher tenant in my unit said, man, Ryan, you got more units that look like this? I said, you got a lot more nice people you can put in them? He said, yeah. I said, yeah, I got a lot more units that look just like this. So we just lucked into this thing of what we do is, instead of, everyone thinks, oh, this person has a voucher, they're not paying the rent, they're not, it just has to be good enough. By just doing a little bit more and differentiating the housing product that we're providing for these tenants, we have really differentiated ourselves. And I get calls all the time now. Ryan, you got a 2-bedroom, you got a 1-bedroom, you got a this, you got a that. And I'm number one on the list, because these people know we have a nice client who needs a good place to live. Call Ryan first. So I have literally no vacancy right now. Sure, if you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is a pretty basic book, but I read it all the time, because just remembering, you want to make sure at first that every property, even if it's like $50 or $100 a month, just make sure it's positive cash flow, because if it's negative cash flow at all, what he calls in the book is, he calls it like a cash crocodile. It'll be eating money. It'll be eating money out of your pocket. So take time. Take that first piece of real estate you buy. Take your time. Go see it in the morning. Go see it in the afternoon. Go see it at night, because you'll notice, depending on what the neighborhood is, it's a whole different type of people around the property. Talk to the tenants. The second property I bought, I sat outside. I talked to every single tenant, just because you want to know. I mean, because when you get a tenant, you have somebody who has a lot of control over a very important asset to you.